Oh, look at that. What is this, CNN? You see that? I did it right this time. Last time I was on with Joe last month, the countdown went and then it never transferred to this. And I was, and there's a tick box that's like, go to the next scene automatically. So
got it. This one worked.
We got it. Yeah. What's up,
right
Paul?
On live.
This is my friend, Unstoppable Paul. What's good? What's happening?
Well, this is good to be on. I haven't been here for a year.
Oh, is that what it is? That's not good. That we'll have to remedy going forward. That we can't let happen again.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Man, no, I had us on. I was watching our stream too. So I was getting that feedback.
Oh.
I'm good though.
I did the same thing. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. When I was watching the countdown and then watching on YouTube on a separate computer, it shows that like we right now, you and me are like, it's 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why, if that's just a YouTube thing, or maybe when they're fully loaded, they just, I don't know, increase latency or something. But
buffer or something like that. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's been about a year and a half, I think.
I'm sorry about that.
I was here last.
No,
my fault too. We're all busy, right?
We are. What are you up to these days? You want to put in a plug for anything cool you're
yeah, sure. Yeah. The Unstoppables AI. So I left my old company and now I started my own. So now I do cybersecurity, work with Brian a lot on projects, MSP kind of stuff, managed service provider, switches, anything, kind of just technical stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's about all I got. Oh, and also I started a running group in August last year, and then lost a ton of weight and in shape, and then I feel great. So
what area, for folks who don't know, what area can they join, and can they join your club?
Boise. Very good, Brian. Look at you. You need to move to Idaho. Boise, Meridian, surrounding areas. If you're into running at all or just fitness, just message me. Just find me on LinkedIn, Paul Wilch.
Awesome. Well,
that's it.
Business hat off. Well, I was giving you the Arsenio Hall fist pumps of like, way to go do your own business. I love when people do that. It's scary, but it's really really cool. I talked to a couple of the people this week and last week who just had been tinkering with the idea of jumping on their own, and we just had some great discussions. And it's just so fun because they have all the same fears we've had about the whole like, what does that look like financially, and how does it feel to have unlimited time off minus the paid part? You know what I mean? Like that's a joke I always make. You get unlimited PTO in a lot of tech and security companies these days, and then you just get unlimited TO when you're on your own. It's pretty sweet, just minus the dollars.
Yeah. And when did you start yours? Remember that? Because I met you right before you actually did it.
Yeah. I think it was like I think I had the business registered late 2017 and then went for reals 2018 when like a side gig I had wasn't going to be as long as I thought it was. It was supposed to be a year contract. It was like 2 months. And I'm like, hey, here we go. This has to work now because I don't have a parachute. I don't have a plan B. But
now you're doing great.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun, and I just kind of make the joke too, like it has to work because I never want to work for another mid-level manager who doesn't know. No offense to old. That was a vague statement. If you were my manager a long time ago, you would be like, "Was he talking about me?" Maybe.
Or potential clients.
Yeah, just the whole. Yeah. I don't want to go back to that. So, but today, Paul, I've got the giggities, but I'm gonna try to stay because we got the tight shot now. I can't do as much side to side. I got the giggities because you and me are going to talk through something called Ninja Hacker Academy, and I'm going to get my screen share going as well so we can look at this live. So is this something you're familiar with at all? Have you ever heard of it?
No, you just you told me about that, messaging that. Other than that, no, but but I know kind of what it is. Can you just go back to remember Vuln Hub, the local installs, Vuln Hub, you created a Vuln Hub, Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be good just to catch people up who might be not familiar with this.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, they're still doing stuff. Oh, it's maybe been a while since they've added a new box, but Vuln Hub, I mean, that used to be when I started in security around 10-ish years ago, that kind of used to be like, this is where you would go to download machines that would have various vulnerabilities and kind of puzzles within them. And I did, if it's still here, I did make a couple. 2016.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Holy shnikes indeed. I'm an old person, but that's fine. But you could download these individual VMs, run them on like ESXi or what's the
VirtualBox. Yep.
Yeah. And it was, really fun. And now I guess, kind of fast forward to today, it's like you can deploy with just a few commands an entire lab that you know, is like has real Active Directory, real services and things that corporations use. So your pen test skills can that you try in these labs are directly forkliftable to real world pen testing. And that's where I've kind of have been yapping so much lately on the podcast and on these things about Goad, Game of Active Directory, because it comes in a few different flavors, but the idea being, yeah, you run a couple commands and come back a few hours later, and you know you've got a Kali box inside what really, again, behaves like a completely real corporate environment that you would test, and you can just hack away, test all the tools, blow stuff up, blue screen the domain controllers. Doesn't matter because you're not doing this, you know, on real corporate property. So this Goad comes in a few different flavors. And the last I think like 3 months, your buddy and mine, Joe the Machine Skeen, we've been attacking sort of the 3 realms of Goad. This is like the full-fledged platinum package of Goad, but it does come in a light version that's just a little smaller. It's got like a DC and a.
So what's the cost on this? Is this just I see GitHub.io. So is this just a GitHub project that you can deploy?
Yeah. So what I did, and I don't know the hardware requirements exactly. I'm sure it's in here, but I got into this because I had a client that wanted a lab for us to kind of train them in, and so I've got mine on a way overkill like Hetzner rented box for like $30 a month. But you could put this on an old server you have at home. And really, if you the combination of things that I really love, sort of the 1-2 punch of Ludus Cloud, which is you download and install this on the bare metal of your spare server or your lab test server. That gets up and running in just a few commands. Then you can come in here with Goad and another half dozen commands. You say install Goad or Goad Lite or Goad Mini or any of them. And then it does take a while because it's building and updating and configuring. In the case of like Goad, it's a lot of machines, but it's something that you start at 8 p.m. You wake up the next morning and like poof, it's ready to attack. And Goad is also really good about it looks like they have the small thumbnail here. I can't blow it up, but they also give you like some idea as far as like the attack paths that exist, so that it's not blind. It's not like it's a CTF. It's more like they'll kind of say, hey, look here, this is interesting. Here's what the group
give you some hints. That's cool.
So again, we've been through that the last couple months, and just kind of by accident, I was like, oh yeah, we got the SCCM one, which is also on our YouTube. But then I was like, well, wait a minute, what is this about? What's Ninja Hacker Academy? And this one, when you read about it, it says like, hey, the other ones, we're trying to kind of purple team it with you and give you some idea of what to attack. But this is just more like OSCP, more like the Vuln Hub, where we're not going to tell you much except that there are 2 domains here. We'll give you a starting point of what to attack, and then that's it. You don't get a cred to start with. You don't get you're kind of starting blind on Ninja Hacker Academy. You have to figure out, starting here on the app server, you have to figure out how to pwn everything. So I was like, well, I'll play with this for a few minutes, right? Oh my gosh, it's sucked in with the power of like back at OSCP days when I would just be staying up way too late and just get big crusty eyes and like trying to figure it out, trying not to spoil it for myself by looking online. So I wanted to kind of work with you and pick at this a little bit and see if we can't.
So obviously you're learning. I mean, someone at your great level, you're still learning this.
It's one of those things, right? You look at other people's content, or you look at anything, and you're like, depending on who you look at, you're like, oh, I'm pretty good at what I do, and then you'll see somebody else's video and be like, oh, I know nothing about computers. I think I'm medium. I would say in life, I think I'm doing okay.
That's good.
But yeah, but again, it's got Active Directory and everything. It's kind of like starting though with no credentials. So typically on an assumed compromise test, we would ask for a credential, but here you're starting with nothing. So I want to kind of show you, because I'm kind of further into this. Like I know where some of the bodies are buried, but I wanted to kind of show you and talk through sort of what I found, and getting a foothold on a single system, because I think there are probably many ways to do it, but and my path certainly won't be the best or the quickest, but along the way, I think there's some good tips here too on just like little hiccups and headaches you might run into that that I can show you that I think will help you have a more pleasant lab experience here. So so again, this is just a Kali VM that's shipped. Like when you spin up Ninja Hacker Academy, it builds you a bunch of templates within Proxmox, and one of them is just a Kali box. So you can just
That's crazy.
Yeah, just say make me an empty Kali VM. So that's what I did here. The only thing that I've done is install Exegol, which I don't know if you and I have talked about that.
Never heard of it.
So that's a kind of all-in-one. It's like a I feel like it works sort of like Metasploit, where you can run the Metasploit console, and then inside the console, you've got one shot or you're one command away from running all the different auxiliary modules and attack modules. So Exegol is kind of I get it. Sorry, I'm not a Star Wars guy, so I didn't realize that was a Star Wars reference. My bad. Are you offended?
No. Are you offended? I would have no idea. Joe Skeen, maybe. You know.
Okay. All right. You might know. Yeah. Okay. So here's Exegol. It is just exegol.com, but you can just say from Kali, you can say download this free image, and it's going to have, let me just go to my terminal. Like if you start typing responder, let's see, maybe responder, look at that. It suggests what command you might want to run. It gives you common flags you might want to run with it. And it's kind of that for like all the popular pen test tools. And the big advantage to using something like Exegol, to me anyway, is that when you set up a pen test box and you kind of piecemeal from GitHub all the different tools and install them, sometimes the Python dependencies gobble each other, and also you've got a broken tool. And if you're in an environment where they really heavily filter web access, if you go later and try to fix a tool, it might block access to that tool, and all of a sudden you've got, you know what I mean, tools that you can't run because or you can't run easily. You might have to like sneakernet or VPN them, and it just ends up being a big headache. But here at the Exegol prompt, we're pretty much good to go with things like, you know, NetExec and
so you download Kali with minimal tools then, and then install Exegol. Is that correct? Okay.
Right. Yeah. Just the leanest, whatever the lightest Kali.
And that seems to be everything you need?
For the most part, I'd say now these days I operate like 95% out of Exegol, and then maybe I come across like, oh, there's you know, there's a tool that just came out that I'll go outside of the prompt and I'll install. But so basically, so I'm in the same subnet here, as it's all just one subnet in my case, and your mileage will vary. You can kind of choose what the subnet scheme is. So everything for Ninja Hacker Academy is 10.7.10. Something. Now, what always has caused me problems in Goat or Goat SCCM or this lab is like it gets, you want to have easy access to be able to just ping things by their name or their fully qualified domain. But that might not work depending on how your template picks up like DHCP and DNS. So for example, if I look at, what am I looking at for DNS, I'm pointed to this software router that comes along with Ninja Hacker Academy, and it doesn't know what the host names are in this environment. Like typically in a corporate environment, DNS is one of the domain controllers. So if I know I'm looking for a server called Paul01, I can just type ping Paul01. That will resolve at the domain controller, and I'll get your IP. But in this case, this router like doesn't know any of the Ninja Hacker Academy hosts. So certain things when you're trying to run it, it just gets annoying. And I just learned like a week ago that NetExec has a module to make our lives much more easier for situations like this. So what I might do just at the beginning of any sort of like CTF exercise like this is I'll do, what did I say it was now? 10.7.10. Oh yeah, 10.7. 10.7.10. I'll sweep the whole subnet, and because I don't have a credential, I'm just going to send nothing. So this is going to do an SMB sweep, but at least what I get from this is I start getting the machine names. So DC, vil, web, SQL, share. Okay. So that's cool. But again, if I go ping web, doesn't go. Ping web.academy.ninja.lan, no go. Okay. So check this out. NetExec has a little module built right into it. I can say, shoot, of course. No. Hold on. Might have to consult my notes here, Paul. I think it's make hosts file, something like that.
Nice.
Ninja. Let me try. Oh, generate. Here we go. Generate hosts file, and I'll just call it host.txt. So again, I don't really need a cred. I'm just hitting them all anonymously, but look at this. It's just stinking beautiful. Here's a host file. Now what I can do with this, I can copy and paste it verbatim and go etc host. Just right into the host.
Great.
Yeah. And now and it's so nice that it puts it in the host file by fully qualified domain name and short name. So I could go ping share. Lovely. Ping.
How'd you figure that out?
Huh?
How did you figure that out? How'd you stumble on that?
I was reading the release notes of NetExec and looking for something particular to see if they had it. And then it was like one of the modules that was new. Maybe it's been out there for a while, but it's like, hey, trying to generate a host file to make your life easier, use this. And I was like, oh my gosh. Because what I was doing was like coming in here and that's just how noob I was. I was going like, okay, 1.2.3.4, Paul, and then
doing it manual, yeah.
Domain.com. This is certainly a lot quicker and a heck of a lot more accurate. So, okay, so now we've at least got like kind of DNS. We're like ready to jam here as far as like, if we need to attack specific hosts, we can just know their short name or their DNS name. So what I did kind of in, I'm going to sort of speed some of this just because it can take a while, but purely going off what I learned from doing way too many vuln hub boxes and old OSCP exercises is usually when they had you in an environment with no creds, you would find some sort of web-based vulnerability somewhere in the network. And so I would often do something like this. So I would say, let's nmap for just common web ports. I'm going to do the whole subnet. So 10.7.10.0/24. And then only show me things that are open, because I don't really care if it, I don't want to see 10 pages of, well, the ports weren't open over here. Just show me anything that has a web interface and like, let's kind of start our discovery there. But, you could use, if you're playing with this, there's kind of like, well, I guess there are wrong ways to do it, but you could run full nmap scan. You could do mass scan. You could do Nessus. You could do, what's the other big kind of,
what was that that we used to use? Spartan? No, Sparta?
Yeah, I don't know if that had like a GUI to it, right? It had like
true.
Yeah, that anything you want, but this is just a starting point. And so we see a couple things. DC vil has port 80 open. Okay, so that could be interesting, as well as web. So let's just go to dcvil. I'll just go to it in the browser. dcvil. Oh, that's, yeah. I'm gonna try to Google search it. How about dcvil? Like that. Well, the other thing I could do is 10.7.10.30. Let's try it like that. Oops. Oh, my little pointer. Oh goodness.
What happened?
I think my Windows key got in there in what I was trying to type. Let's try again. HTTP 10.7. Shoot, I already forgot. 10.7.10.30. 10.7.10.30. Okay, so just a general IIS page could be interesting. I'll just leave that for now. 7. What was the other one? Whoops. 10.7.10.32. 10.32. Oh, and you know what? Ooh. It gets, makes me kind of itch my limited facial hair. Like, okay, this looks like there could be some stuff. The first thing I did when I saw this, because this was an old, again, I'm aging myself, but like 10 plus years ago when I did OSCP, a common thing to find is if you looked at view page source, sometimes you would find little Easter eggs in here. You would find like, hashes or some sort of encryption key, or maybe it would hint you towards like a hidden URL, like an ad interface.
Yeah.
But in this case, nothing super interesting. I did start to take note of like, okay, here maybe are some users that perhaps I could password spray. Maybe they're part of, one of these Active Directory domains, because there's 2 of them. Let's see, that's contact about. Same thing, I also tried like a common thing would be to download the image for download some image, run it through like a metadata extractor, and sometimes you'd find passwords and hashes and hidden, URL.
Now, what's the metadata tool that you used? This was a year and a half ago, if you remember. I don't know.
Yeah. EXIF tool was one. There's a bunch of them, but I think Kali has EXIF tool built into it. So I think, actually, I can't remember if I tried that, but I'm just kind of talking through like things that jump out to me, right? But then once I saw this, the list of students, I was like, ooh, okay, this makes me interested because, for example, I'll just do like a sample search. Let's search for anybody named Paul. Okay, there isn't anybody named Paul, but up here, we see that the query is search string equals Paul and order by equals first name. So there's 2 parameters. There's search string and there's order by. And a common thing in web app testing is you try to feed like different injection strings and sort of garbage to these parameters. So instead of Paul, you'd put like a database command or like a select statement or something, so that if the site doesn't properly sanitize inputs, you might end up talking like directly to the database or to the OS and get it to like, cough up information, get it to download things like evil executables and stuff like that. So I would typically, like if this was a prod pen test, I would use something like SQL map, and I'd say like, okay, take the parameter search string, take the parameter order by, and then kind of fuzz it, like just throw different things, order by equals some database command, order by equals select, all users and passwords from the database, just to see kind of how it behaved. But because we are in a open world, like you don't have to worry about exhausting this thing's resources or tipping it over, right? I'm going to kind of give it just the general easy mode SQL map attack, and just let sort of SQL map do the hard work for me. So let me show you what that looks like, and I just want to make sure. I just want to see. I just kind of want to show the address bar and then not cut our heads off too. Okay, so let me get a little bit of space here. And here's where it's so wonderful. Look at this. I start typing SQL map, and it offers me sort of the easy mode flags to do a test with SQL map. So TAC forms basically tells SQL map, hey, if you run across something like a search box, yeah, just go for it. Start doing some crazy searches and see if you can uncover any vulnerabilities. Batch will just answer all the SQL map. When you kind of run through the wizard, it'll ask you different questions. And Batch just says, yeah, take the default / answer. And then the URL is just the URL that you want it to look at. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this URL. So we're at 10.7.10.32, but specifically where there's this form, right, that we're playing with, that's at /students. So I'm just going to give it that. And it'll kind of do all its different injection testing against different queries, different types of databases. And this is something, again, it's got about a million different levels of intensity, options, logging, right? But I just, for the sake of this, it's like, I don't care. Kitchen sink, just let's just shoot everything at it. And we scroll up. It has so actually it exported what it found to a CSV if I need it later, but let me scroll up a little bit, and there's 2 different types of SQL injection. I think one of the easiest ways or easiest ones to kind of demonstrate to you is so the stacked queries one. It said, okay, I fed it a payload of search string equals just whatever, just some kind of normal text, but it said, all right, I want to order it by first name, and then it added a command to talk directly to the database and say, essentially sleep for 5 seconds and then refresh the results. So I'll show you this because I think visually this just looks cool. I'm gonna adjust my search string here to be this. Now I'm gonna hit enter and then watch up here. It's gonna do the little swirly, like I'm waiting to refresh the page. It should do it for like exactly 5 seconds and then return to us. So let me hit enter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're back. So that's how SQL map was like, whoa, dude, you're not just searching for students, you are actually telling the database to do stuff. So this is where okay, so it's kind of been a while because I don't do a lot of the web app testing, so I just felt like, oh, this is not like riding a bike for me. I don't really know how do I turn this into something more interesting. So in reading on SQL Map's site, they're like, well, one of the ways you can kind of go again, sort of easy button mode is just to add the flag of OS shell. And that will actually establish you a little command prompt as if you're at the Windows command prompt of this box. That is kind of bonkers, right?
So then it'll create a shell, reverse shell.
So
is that what that is?
It is just like a not a reverse shell, but that's what we want to do, because what will happen here, and I'm going to actually not like wait for this all to finish, but this type of shell is actually super slow because we're getting we have to send essentially malicious queries to get back character by character what the command is. So you're gonna, do you see it slowly crawl across? So it's going to show, and in fact, this is why I need to kind of like speed this along for the sake of time, because this could take another 10 minutes, but essentially it'll say
C programs.
Yeah, it'll be like the SQL directory or something. It'll show the directory that we're in, and then at the very end, it'll say OS shell, and then you could do something like dir space C:\\, and it would list you what is on the root of C, but it would take freaking forever. And in fact, what I'm going to do, give me just 1 second. I'm going to upload. Let me see if I can do this. Hopefully this cooperates with me. I'm going to open up a new, I'm going to let that just cook. I'm going to open up a new tab here. Let me get into, I'm just going to start Exegol here in this window as well. And I've uploaded, oh, good. Okay, good. They got there. Let me show you these, kind of show you what this would look like. Let's see. This is just from an earlier attempt. Okay, that was our SQL injection. Oh, okay. So here's what you would be seeing. See on this other tab here. See how it's slowly writing Microsoft files. You could tell, right? This is going to take forever and a day. But what you would eventually see is kind of the working path of the system we're attacking, and eventually you would get this prompt. So this is where I could type dir C:\\, and then it would give me the list of C. And in fact, that is how I found the first flag, because every Ninja Hacker Academy box has one or more flags, and it's in the root of C. But it takes, I think it took an hour to list what C:\\. is. So when you're asking about reverse shells, the answer is yes. We want to get like a proper, fast, snappy command shell to enumerate this box and attack it. So the quicker we can upgrade to that, the better. But what and I'll just submit this to you, I'm sure there's a quicker, like one-shot command I could have issued to get that reverse shell. But how I found something of interest on this box was just issuing a bunch of dir C:\, something and listing directories, because what I found, and I think I've got this in my second document. I think it's this one. Yes. What I found by doing like dir C:\, is I found a directory called setup. Then I listed it. So
wow. And it was really slow, right?
Something I worked on during the workday. So I would issue a dir command, and I go to work for about an hour, and then I'd come back and go, oh, there's C:\, setup MS. Okay, dir that. And then that took another hour. And then I saw, and then I saw this little baby, SQLconf.ini. So the command I gave at that OS shell that we figured out was the type command. And the type command just basically says, dump out to console the following file. And as you can see, look at this. So 9:55, I started it, and I just kind of cut for time. 10:25, it's still going, but the big payoff here, the big exciting thing was this.
Nice.
SQL SA password in the conf file. So that's like, okay, great. Now I've got like a working credential to use against the SQL system. But I'm I guess somewhat embarrassed, because I'm sure there was a way to shortcut that and like just run an OS shell thing to get like a proper snappy reverse shell. But I talk a lot about on the podcast how just sniffing through hard drives with the dir command is like freaking. It's gotten me all sorts of interesting stuff, because a lot of endpoints, a lot of IT teams have like a standard image, and in the C:\, tools, C:\, stuff folder, they sometimes put like PowerShell scripts they need to admin the boxes. And sometimes they have like service account creds in the clear. So like, maybe I went the long way around. Slow and steady turtle still won the race, right? I got this account that we can do hopefully interesting things with. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So can you automate that, or have you automated that? Since it seems like not this one specifically, because I know it takes a long time to return it, but when you do the directory, list, have you automated that? Or?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like normally, if I was going to run that kind of like, let me dumpster dive through a hard drive, I would do it with something like Snaffler. On the PC side, I would run Snaffler, but I would have a credential that has local admin to something. And then, it goes through the root of C down looking for interesting files. And it would have likely, identified this. But we were we're unauthenticated, so we're just kind of doing it a command at a time through this SQL vulnerability. So it ends up being a longer path, but still, we got there, right?
So on this one, there were 2 vulnerabilities. You used this one. Did you go back and use the other vulnerability, or did you check that one out?
Oh, so that was just like two flavors of SQL injection, but they both give us the same reward, right? Where we have command and injection. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I've got a an SA account and password. So what I'll do really quick. Whoops, I don't want to move. Hold on. I think I pushed my Windows key and then it got in our business again. I'm gonna do just gonna take this here. And I just turned my fan on. Is it like making a lot of noise to you?
Nope, don't hear it.
Okay, I'm going to use NXCS. No, I'm going to use SQL. I'm going to talk to it over the SQL protocol. It's the SQL system. The username is SA, and the password is this jobby.
Now, what tool was that? NXC?
That's the shorthand for NetExec. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So if you download that,
I've only used, I think, NetExec in your lab maybe, and that was what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, yeah. And I think I might have named the binary like NetExec just to like have a click for people. But if you just download it, or even if like in Exegol, it just comes standard as shorthand is net NXC. Cool. So I'm gonna authenticate locally, and let's see. Oh, there we go. That's what we like to see right there. So so now we have at least local administrator privileges on SQL. So if I wanted to do something like purely show me the contents of root of the C drive, dir::, blam. I mean, that's much faster, right? That's the kind of snappy shell we're looking for. And hello flag for this box. Oh. So let's just go type flag.txt, and then that should just dump it out to console for us. There we go. So there's the MS SQL injection for the win, kind of in leet speak with a smiley face. So if you're really doing this and like kind of keeping score for yourself, we'd want to throw that flag up there. Okay, but it also, like, if I really want to get in here and I want to like run a hash dump, run Mimikatz, stuff like that, that would be better suited if we could get like a proper C2 command shell and operate out of that context. It makes certain things a little bit easier, and detections by like AV and stuff, they go down just a little bit if you can get that set up. And an important thing about this lab is that like this versus Goad is that on some of the Goad machines, they tell you, hey, we've disabled Defender so that you can run like evil executables and stuff and get the practice without Defender just constantly like chowing down on you and just killing all your fun and games.
How's Defender doing now? Last time we talked about Defender was around Print Nightmare.
Yeah.
And it was doing okay, but then you could still obfuscate the executor or the code. Yeah, right. And then you said Defender's getting better. That was probably maybe 2 years.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, well, we'll see. Let's see. How much time do we have? So we still have, I mean, I know we're set to go till 2. I wonder if we can maybe power through it. When I was going through, so I've been working on this, off and on for a couple of weeks, and it has improved since I even started like uploading some custom payloads and stuff. So this morning when I was kind of running through everything, one of the evil executables I uploaded just like 3 or 4 days ago now gets detected. So I would say, I would say it's pretty good. I still think something like a Sentinel-1 or a CrowdStrike will, give you like the best protection. But I think back in the day it was like, oh, look, you could run an evil PowerShell to do a Mimikatz dump by just renaming all the instances in the script from
I remember that
Mimi dogs or Mimi kitten. Yeah. It's a little better now. So I'm gonna well, let's see. Oh, you know what? We'll get as far as we get. But that is the other thing I wanted to show you is I wanted to get Sliver downloaded, which is like an open source C2 framework that I've been playing with the last few I don't know, maybe like the last few months. And let me just see real quick. I didn't see there was chat activity. Okay, some claps. We got we got our friends Joe the Machine Skiing and Molly. Hi everybody.
Oh, and Simon's in there too.
Hey everybody. Sorry, I just get when I get the giggities, it's just like quick. You know how quickly I'll go to tangent town. I mean, if a mosquito flew right now, I'd be like, yeah, Paul, I'll be back.
Who's Acoustic?
I think that's one of my friends who said boom. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, well, you know what? Let's just get as far as we can because obviously this will be a multi-part series that you or Joe the Machine Skiing, I hope will kind of join me on. I'm gonna see if I can do the quick version. Okay, so this is right off of it's Sliver C2. I think it's sliver.sh. Yeah, there we go. This will kind of run you through everything I'm about to run through, but this is like beyond a quick start. This is like, let me give you hardly any information and let's get this installed. So we're going to run their install script, pipe it to sudo bash so that it runs. We'll provide our super secure password, and then this will download. The other thing I'll do, I'm trying to think. So while this is downloading, in fact, I'll do it. I'm not sure. We might end up eating the rest of our time just in stuff downloading. I should have maybe done this ahead of time, but I like to just show everything because so many of the videos, right? It's just like, anyway, here I am with a custom payload in Sliver, and you're like, whoa. How'd you even? What is Sliver? How'd you get here? But one thing that made my life a lot easier that wasn't immediately obvious to me is that when you get Sliver running, so it's just that easy. Boom. There's our C2. Is that there's this kind of, and I'm using my words because I don't know technically what they call this, but there's kind of a add-on pack called the Armory that brings in a bunch of like tools you can have, kind of like Exegol, you can have access to right at the command here, but it's not installed by default. So I'm going to go Armory install all, and then that'll offer me a whole, so it would be like one-shot command to run like Rubius or I think Bloodhound or Mimikatz, right? So there we go. I'm just going to take everything. Yeah. So there's all these different tools that'll run against like a C2 session to help you find sensitive data, exfiltrate it, persist, all that. While that's running, actually, Paul, I'm going to do a shameless self-promotion for something free that I just updated today. That is bpatty.rocks. So this is our kind of like, this is like the stuff like we're talking about now that I'm learning. I try to barf as much as I can back up into this wiki. And so, I think I might have pushed upload on this Sliver.
So this is like 10 years, right? How old is this? I remember you started this a long time ago.
I think I started an old like GitHub only version of this with just like markdown files. Yeah, I think probably 2019, 2018. And now it's like in a kind of a nice little online repository type. So anything you're looking for, NetExec or what have you, you've kind of got like all the there we go. All the like command line flags that are hard to remember for me anyway. I put them all here. But actually what we're going through right now with Sliver install, that's all right here. There's the install command. Get it up and running. Install the Armory, and then we should be good to go. Let's see if by chance. Oh, okay. We're still getting it. So if we have time, let's see. I know we're running up on time. I kind of laugh at this because I used to be somebody that at all costs would avoid live demo gods. And not only are we building or installing C2 stuff, but I was about to tell you that one of the first things you'll do is you'll kind of set up a listener for the C2. But then as far as generating something that generating like a file that we can run against SQL to make it call back to us. That's going to be where the challenge is, because like I said, Defender is on everywhere. So I'm not going to be able to just generate like a evil phone home.exe in Sliver and just upload it to that SQL server. It's going to get gobbled by Defender. Absolutely.
And what kind of updates? When was the last time you updated that?
So it's fully updated. So it's been running for a few days, and it Defender's on, and it's constantly pulling new packages. So it's like fully patched as of today.
Oh, that'll be fun.
That'll be fun. We'll see if we can at least get to the point where I'm trying to get a callback. So I'm going to set up. I'm going to set up.
This is crazy. They're going to do this live.
So I'm going to set up. Whoops, not that. That's the flag. Yeah, I don't know. I got to learn how to copy and paste, I guess. Let me try it again. Okay, not that, but how about this? Okay, so I'm going to set up a listener on port 8090. This is my IP, right? I'm going to be ready to catch C2 connections. Okay, let's do that. Okay, we got our listener going. And then, so here's an implant. Here's how you would, one of the ways you could build, again, an evil phone home executable that would make HTTP calls to my Sliver C2. I'm going to build an exe. It's going to be for AMD 64. And then this is like basically disable all the kind of like bypassing tricks and things that Sliver knows about, and just give me like the most basic vanilla detectable executable. And the reason I do that is because we buy a commercial LinkedIn what are we doing, Sliver? We purchased something called Ballast Kit Macro Pack Pro that has a lot of awesome capabilities, but using Hacky Brian explanation, it takes something like a vanilla, boring, totally detectable exe, disguises it so that hopefully Defender doesn't catch it. That's like the most, So
does it like package it, or does it recompile it? Like, what does it do?
Yeah, it takes it and obfuscates it such that it's not detectable when Defender looks at it and tries to see like, okay, what's it doing, how is it behaving?
Yeah.
And this is I'm not in the malware creation distribution.
Yeah.
So please excuse what is the worst explanation ever, but I just say disguise it so that if it's scanned with Defender goes, not sure what this is. Maybe I'll let it run. Okay.
Yeah.
So
this is great.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
total live demo. This is great.
Yeah, we'll see if, okay, what do we got? 9 minutes to go. Let's see if we can at least get a call back. That would be pretty cool. But okay, but here's the thing. I've got to I'm gonna try to stay on mic and go over here because I've got my Shellcode Pack Pro over on my Windows box. And what I need to do is, you see how it made this splinter.exe. So again, that's the vanilla, boring, super detectable exe that Sliver barfed out to us. That's what I need to disguise, but it's on. I have to pull it to a Windows workstation to do the disguising, so I can't like show that part. But let me just see if I look at. Okay, did we just build that 151? Would that be right? Okay, let me try this. It's like the fastest live demo covering like 50 things in one episode. Okay, so I got Splinter. So I'm going to disguise it as a file called shellcooked.exe, meaning like it's been through the cooker. It's been cooked.
Got it. Guys,
let me just see if I can make that all happen really quick.
And the server's been patched, fully patched with Windows Defender running.
Yes. Yep.
This is good.
And like I said, it might just catch it the second we try to send it. But what the heck? We'll give it a shot just to show you like this is, one way you would go about this. Okay, I made shell cooked. Let me upload that. That's only about 6 minutes.
Are there options when you choose to obfuscate that? different kinds?
Yes. So, and that's why, like, some point I'll just have to do. I feel like I don't know, whatever the analogy would be. I only know how to drive a Toyota, but somebody gave me a high performance like F1. Oh man, it's got like a sweet gas pedal. I mean, you push it down, it goes vroom vroom. That's a little bit what I'm like with Ballast Kit. But yes, I've got. In fact, I think he's got a screenshot here. I mean, the nice part is they've made it for dummies like me that it has a GUI.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
I can give a million different obfuscation options, but what they've done, I think this has been around for a while, but one of the best things they've done is they have profiles mapped to popular things like Defender, like Sentinel-1. So if you're trying to bypass a certain EDR, you just say, like, I don't know if it's in this screenshot.
I see that. I see the AMC bypass. We were doing that. What were we doing that? It was in one of your labs. We had to do an AMC bypass. Maybe that was Print Nightmare. I can't remember.
To get Yep. To get past Defender. Yep. Probably. Yeah. But you can kind of pick your popular EDR. It'll say, like, hey, I'll make this so the EDR doesn't detect it. And I mean, we've had crazy success with that. So I'm such a huge fan. Okay, let me see if this got here. Hold on. If I do LS, it's not in the right. Oh, hold on. One thing that always throws me off is that like this folder right here that we're looking at, if you were to hop out to like a standard terminal, it's kind of hidden in .exegol. So this Callie is our home user. So inside the .exegol folder is where you're operating out of if you're here, if that makes any kind of sense. So same files. Okay, I know they only got 5 minutes, but let's try this. Let me upload. So again, let me go up to my command history. We were doing stuff like talking to the OS directly. All right, I'm gonna give this a shot and hope for the best. So I'll go to my command history. Here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna
say, Joe Skeen, if you're still on, what do you think? Is it gonna pass or no? I want to see what Joe thinks.
Let's put up a poll.
Yeah, let's put a poll.
I'm gonna do, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Put file, what I call, shell cooked. So again, shell cooked has been through obfuscation. And then I'm gonna upload it to, and here's another thing I learned through some of these tools the hard way. They want double backslashes to escape the one backslash. So everything is double backslashed. Let's just send it to public, and I'm gonna call it shell.exe.
Ooh, Joe thinks it'll work.
Okay. Ooh.
I'm hoping it'll work.
Okay, so it got uploaded. Let me do a quick, let me go through command history. Let's do a quick dir of that folder. If it's not there, it's a good indication Defender ate it. Let's go here. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. It's there. This is where I usually hold my pen test, because sometimes you are in a situation like this. You can only talk to the box with commands. You don't see the GUI. You don't see if Defender is eating things. So I'll usually do the dir command, and then I'll wait like 10 seconds and be like, okay.
Is it gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen it. Some of those I upload, and then it'll just disappear, right? And I'm like, dang it.
Yeah. Yep. So let's that would be so cool if we can get our low-level shell going in the next 3 minutes. Let's do users, public. I'll just run it straight up.
Yeah. Okay. Run it.
Okay. And what we should see, so it may say it timed out, but what kind of from running through this before, the executable itself, in fact, I could do something like this. Let me run this. I'm going to run task list v sort, and let's see, it might still be like running and kind of let's see. Okay, lots of SVC hosts. Let's see if shell.exe is active. Look at that though. It's still running. Let's go over to Sliver. Whoops.
This is crazy.
Okay, let me look. I didn't see anything. Okay. No sessions, but since this is like the last thing I want to show, let's just give it the next couple minutes, because I have seen it. I have seen it take a couple minutes to phone home. Whoops. Let me do. Paul. Paul.
Look at that. It's alive. That's crazy.
All right. Talk to you later. Oh my goodness.
Right on.
Okay, now here's why this is a perfect place to leave us, because this is good news and bad news. That the syntax or the account that this shell is running under is NT Authority Network Service, and that's actually somewhat crippled. So if I try to do something like this, if I try to actually interact with this box and do something like hash dump to get all the local usernames and their hashes, access is denied. If I try to run Mimikatz, if I try to do much of anything as like a true, like trying to do so, or try to add like make like a new account called Brian Secret and add it to local admin group, it will not work because of the kind of the permissions that come along with this account. So for you and/or Joe the Machine Skeen, it'd be fun to have you both.
I'll totally do it. Joe, I'm sure he'll be on it too.
Yes. So kind of what we need to do is figure out a way. Can we upgrade our shell? Well, ideally, what we would see here is a shell that phones home that is at system level. Because when you're system level, then you can do whatever you want. Dump hashes, run Mimikatz, add new backdoor users. But we're not there yet. So that's like, man, we got exactly where I was hoping we would be, which is
that's great.
Lead up to next time. Figure out how do we turn this into like a more interesting shell, and then keep trying to privilege escalate. We've got one fingernail toehold on the SQL box, but obviously we got a long way to go before we own both domains.
So this one that you just did, that was macro pack, but what was it, Balisk or something? What was the name of the company? Just a review for people, because it just worked, right?
It did. Yep, that is Balisk Kit. I think it's just ballastkit.com. Yep. So they've got, and Joe mentions too, they have two big products. They have Macro Pack, which is, I have that as well. I just haven't played with it as much, but it can make weaponized, Word docs, PowerPoints, things you can email to fire reverse shells. Like that'd be cool to play with as well. But the one that I used in this demo was Shellcode Pack. Yep. And then again, the reason I brought up this article too, which you'll find if you just Google for LinkedIn Ballast Kit Sliver, this is basically where I drew from for this whole presentation. So he shows how to get Sliver set up. So he goes through kind of, I did a much shorter version, but he does a very thorough, like, let's get Sliver stood up. Let's make that evil EXE. Let's watch it get caught by Defender. Now let's disguise it. And then now let's get our shell. And thank you to the tech gods. We did it.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Joe said he calls both of them macro pack because he can't remember shellcode.
Yeah. I could never remember either, but
yeah, that's great. Awesome.
Well, that was cool, dude. Thanks for joining, Paul.
Yeah, thanks for having me. That was pretty exciting.
Online. Yeah, that was fun.
Well, if you're into cybersecurity, if you're a nerd, that was exciting, right? And you understand, like, this is a fully patched machine, current Windows Defender.
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah, my mom probably, if she's watching right now, she's like, yeah, Dallas, who? Yeah, and call me when you get done. Something like that. All right.
Well, thanks for having me, man.
Thanks, Paul. I'll roll the send out video, and thanks all of you. Have a great day, and we'll catch you next time. We do this every third Thursday, so check us out on YouTube and whatever. Click the bell and the subscribe button and whatever it is the kids do, Paul. Just click all that stuff.
All right, talk to you later.
Yep, talk to you later.
Yeah, bye.
You've been watching or listening to 7 Minute Security, a weekly podcast focused on pen testing, blue teaming, and building a career in security. For more episodes like this, visit 7ms.us. And for information about our consulting services, visit 7minsec.com.